Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really fascinating, exploring the huge untapped power that's sitting right inside your own mind.
That's right.
Our source material kicks off with this really vivid picture, a gold miner out in the ranges, and he's got this sign on his cabin door. It just says, something exciting is about to happen.
Love that.
Yeah, and he had his map, right? Knew where he was going, and he had this powerful, enthusiastic expectancy. And guess what? He found an absolute fortune.
You really did.
So our mission today really is to show you, our listener, that you can find that same gold in your own life, and these secrets of mental magic we're discussing, that's your map.
Exactly. And at its core, this source talks about these secrets of mental magic, or SOM, as it calls them. Basically, think of them as these powerful, often sort of hidden thought forces within us all.
Okay.
The main idea is that by consciously tapping into these mental treasures, you can unlock real, tangible improvements in your life, what the source calls daily prosperities.
Daily prosperities. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, and it's a transformation that Dr. Maurice Nicoll, a respected psychologist, actually described really, really well.
So, okay, what kind of treasures are we really talking about for you listening in? What can you genuinely expect to find on this journey?
Well, the source promises some pretty amazing things.
It does. It talks about catching a glimpse of an entirely new way of living. They call it the magnificent glimpse.
That's a big one.
Huge. And beyond that, it offers solutions to those really deep personal problems, the ones maybe you don't talk about much, like loneliness, anxiety, fear, even depression.
Real practical help.
Totally. And it mentions achieving overwhelming success and this kind of profound freedom from all those heavy responsibilities, letting you live more, well, lightheartedly as nature intends.
And that brings us to the mission of this deep dive, really drawing straight from the source material. Our goal is to help you uncover these SOM secrets. Why?
Why indeed?
Because fundamentally, the way you think dictates how you act.
Hmm.
And how you act, well, that decides your future. It's a pretty direct link, Cause and effect.
Simple but powerful.
Very. As Paracelsus, the old Swiss physician, put it ages ago, you need not be surprised to hear such things are possible, because everything is possible that is consistent with natural laws.
Okay, so if we're going hunting for this gold in our lives, where does this mental magic actually start? What's the first square on the map?
Well, it all boils down to the foundation, really. Believing in yourself.
Right. Seems simple, but maybe not easy.
Exactly. The source tells this story about Evelyn R. She felt totally lost, bewildered, no sense of purpose, tried everything, social stuff, hobbies, relationships, but nothing filled that inner void.
Mm-hmm.
So she asked, what can I even believe in? And the advice she got was so simple, but it's her turning point. For a change, try believing in yourself and believing in the right things about yourself. That means getting that you can change your life by changing your thoughts, understanding that all that conflict and frustration, it's actually unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, and realizing you have these inner powers right now that can be uncovered and developed for pretty much any purpose you want.
That's a huge shift. And the source talks about this interesting angle on self-belief, calls it how to be a rebel. What's that about? It sounds a bit edgy.
It does,
Yeah.
but it's not what you might think.
Yeah.
See, we all naturally rebel against unhappiness, right? Against failure. And that's healthy. It's a desire for freedom.
Sure.
But the source points out, we often waste that energy. We waste our powers of healthy rebellion by aiming it outwards at exterior conditions.
Like blaming your job or...
Exactly, or politics or other people. We think changing those things will fix it. But often, we're just swapping one frozen self for another.
Right. Been there.
Haven't we all? The real target, the profitable one for that rebellion, it's our own negative or unrealistic or unworkable states of mind. That's where the leverage is.
Okay, so rebel against your own negative thinking.
Precisely. And the result, the source says when you get your mental processes right, every exterior condition effortlessly rights itself. It's like getting all these separate armies, your mental powers, to unite. Then you get those life victories.
Effortlessly writes itself. That sounds, well, amazing. Almost too good to be true for some people, maybe. If this talk of mental magic sounds a bit out there,
Yeah, I get that.
the source addresses this. It asks, do you really believe in magic? And the answer is practical magic. So what does that look like day to day?
Right, practical magic is tangible. It's not spells and potions. It's a woman gaining real self-insight, shifting her feelings from troubled to peaceful. That's practical.
Okay.
Or it's a man realizing, A, it's more important to be happy than rich. Or really, is anyone changing their life by finding those hidden mental riches we talked about? It's about real results from inner shifts.
So what guides this? Is there a roadmap for this practical magic?
There is, and it points straight to nature. It quotes Cicero, the Roman statesman. He said, "I follow nature as the surest guide."
Nature as a guide.
Yeah. The source says swift progress happens when you actually listen to these natural guides. Think about that amazing story of Fridtjof Nansen's carrier pigeon.
Oh, yeah. Tell that one.
Okay, so this pigeon flies 1,000 miles over frozen wasteland to deliver a note to Nansen's wife. 1,000 miles. After being gone for 30 months.
Incredible. How did it even...
Exactly.
Okay.
But it found its way. The point the source makes is that these natural guidances of life are incapable of failure, which means you don't ever need to strain or struggle. You don't need to try and think or understand or act above where you currently are.
Wow, just let that sink in. You don't have to try so hard.
You don't. You're not expected to.
That's incredibly liberating, actually. The idea that you can just let go of the responsibility for being anything other than what you are right now, that feels radical.
It really is.
How does that tie in with Patanjali, the Hindu philosopher the source mentions?
It fits perfectly. Patanjali basically said, to supply human needs is the function of the universe. The universe is set up to provide.
So it's not our job to create the good things.
Nope. It's never our responsibility to create our supply. Our job is just to permit it, to allow it in. It's already there. We just need to align ourselves with that natural flow,
Align, not strive.
Got it. Okay, moving on. The source introduces this really uplifting idea, the cheering principle of the magnificent glimpse. Can you unpack that for us?
Absolutely. This is a key concept. The principle is simple. Once a man catches a glimpse of something better, nothing can prevent him from attaining it.
Nothing. That's a strong claim.
It is. Think about the story of the Pennsylvania pioneer. There's a terrible drought. He's desperately looking for water, and he stumbles upon something unusual at the base of a mountain.
All right.
He follows it, and it leads him to this whole new world, a valley filled with lush grass, sparkling streams, paradise, basically. That was his magnificent glimpse. Ah, the initial sighting of something better.
Exactly. And the source says this glimpse is the major power behind all the successes you have enjoyed thus far. It's the seed. And when you really get it, it opens the door for amazing further conquests.
Why is it so crucial?
Because, think about it, a man never looks for something of which he is unaware. You can't aim for something you haven't even conceived of, right?
True.
Dr. Rollo May puts it beautifully. He describes it like standing on a mountain peak, seeing life from this wide, unlimited view. That perspective gives meaning and direction for all of our later actions.
So that glimpse provides the map, the direction, but the source warns us that that glimpse can get lost, right? It uses this Trojan horse analogy for false doctrine and misinformation sneaking in.
Yeah, it's insidious, isn't it? You can genuinely think you're on the right track, but you've unconsciously bought into these limiting beliefs.
So how do we guard against that? How do we find the real truth?
Well, Dr. David Seabury's approach, which the source highlights, is key here. He says, stop, look and listen, seeking the experimental processes of your mind.
Stop, look, and listen.
Yeah, stop just rushing along. Look calmly at what's really going on inside. And then listen quietly for those deeper guidances. Because ultimately, the source insists, the truth itself is the only reliable advice.
Okay, so the truth is the guide. Now, one of the most maybe startling ideas in this source is that we already have immense wealth inside us. It compares our mind to that U.S. Army safe full of cash. The riches are there, definitely. But getting to them, that's the challenge.
Right, breaking through the walls of misunderstanding, as the source puts it.
And the whole point of this exploration, it says, is to show you how to release the vast wealth you already possess within your mind.
Absolutely. And this idea, this inherent mental wealth, it's actually secret number 1 of the 10 Great Secrets of Mental Magic.
Yeah.
Every man is mentally wealthy, period.
Secret number 1. Wow.
And it connects straight away to self-confidence. Secret 9, in fact, is self-confidence is an uncovering.
Uncovering, not building.
Exactly. Think of a dinner plate covered with a napkin.
Yeah.
You don't build the plate, right? You just remove the napkin. Confidence is like that plate. You just need to remove the negative conditioning, the stuff covering it up.
That's a great analogy.
Isn't it? And you see it all the time.
Yeah.
Think about a classroom experiment mentioned. People can chat easily, spontaneously with friends, no problem finding things to say, but ask them to give a formal talk. Suddenly, confidence vanishes for many.
Yeah, stage fright.
Right. But The spontaneous confidence was clearly there a moment before. It's just blocked by inhibitions, by fear of judgment, whatever. So how do we remove that napkin, those blocks?
The source gives us 4 powerful words. I need not obey.
I need not obey. Obey what?
Obey those negative suggestions, those feelings of timidity or fear. It tells the story of Norman A., who was terrified of talking to girls. He'd feel that fear, that shyness creep in.
But then he'd calmly, firmly tell himself, I need not obey that feeling. And he found he could act with confidence, which, naturally, led to success. You're telling yourself the literal truth when you say, I need not obey. You really don't have to. You just think you do.
That's incredibly empowering. Just refusing the negative command.
It is, and it ties right into Secret 10. Personal confidence is an expanding process.
Okay, expanding how?
The advice is, dare to put yourself to the test. Tackle goals just slightly outside your comfort zone, just slightly beyond your present capacities.
Small steps.
Small, achievable steps. As you succeed, even a little, your confidence grows, your abilities expand. Then you're ready for the next slightly bigger step. It's a virtuous cycle.
Like building a muscle.
Exactly. Think of J.L. Kraft, the cheese guy. He had this daring confidence he could develop cheese that would stay fresh for the Army and Navy. Huge challenge back then. But he persisted, and bam, government orders for millions of pounds.
Wow. And George Washington too, right? The source mentions him.
Yeah, fascinating example. From 1776 to 1781, he technically never won a major battle against the British, 5 years. But he persisted, kept his value as a leader, kept that inner confidence, until victory finally came at Yorktown.
Persistence pays off. So what's the single biggest thought to fuel this confidence?
It's the absolute certainty that your actions will be richly rewarded. That belief, that deep knowing, it taps into something primal in us. We're wired for good outcomes, for success.
We want the happy ending.
We do.
Wow.
And the source boldly promises we can have what we like. There's this cool little experiment it mentions. Tie a teaspoon to a long string, hold the ends to your ears, and gently swing the spoon so it taps something solid.
Okay.
You'll hear these amazing deep bell-like chimes. Seriously, try it. It shows how easily we can find this inner harmony, discover our natural powers that lead to confidence. It boils down to 2 really exciting truths. First, there is a way out of any difficulty. And second, you can find it.
I love that. There's a way out and you can find it. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about something most of us grapple with. Feeling weighed down by responsibilities. So many obligations.
Oh yeah, the endless to-do list, the feeling of burden.
Exactly. And the source asks this really pointed question. Would you like to know who's causing it? The answer is pretty blunt, isn't it?
It is. The answer is you.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's a tough pill, maybe. But the source explains that 9/10 of the weights you carry don't belong to you at all. They're self-imposed.
9/10. So what doesn't belong to us? What are some examples?
Well, the source gives a whole list, but some key ones are things like, it's never your duty to give what you really don't want to give,
Yeah.
or sacrifice your integrity to anyone, or do more than you have time to do.
That last one hits home.
Right. Or conform to unreasonable demands, or crucially, endure your own negative thoughts, or even just letting life pass you by meekly. These aren't real responsibilities. They're burdens we pick up.
Self-made standards, not real duties.
Okay. There's a story about Betty H. that seems relevant here.
Yes, Betty H. She had this wonderful realization. Unhappiness is actually the conflict between the genuine self and the artificial self.
The real you versus the you think you should be.
Exactly. All that mental pain, anxiety, depression, guilt, it springs from that gap, the gap between who you truly are and this idealized, often impossible version you're striving for.
So the way out isn't trying harder to be that should-be self?
No. The source says, have the courage to be whatever you are and never mind what you should be. Just be authentically you right now. The should-be part will sort itself out naturally over time if you just let yourself be real.
Courage to be yourself. That takes guts.
It does. There's this lovely little story, The Magic Kingdom Elphonia, that illustrates it.
Tell us about Elphonia.
Okay, so in Elphonia, everyone's an elf, right? And every single elf carries around this heavy sack of plums, just always carrying it.
Nobody knows. It's just what they do. Then this new elf, called Inquiring Elf, shows up and asks the obvious question. Why are we all carrying these heavy sacks of plums?
Good question.
And that simple question leads everyone to realize the sacks aren't tied on. They're completely unnecessary. They were just carrying them out of habit, out of unquestioned tradition.
Wow. Like those unnecessary responsibilities.
Precisely. And the principle the source hammers home is, A worthwhile responsibility in life is never tiring or painful. You want to do it. It's a pleasure. If it's not that, it's not yours to do. Period.
If it feels like a heavy sack of plums, maybe put it down.
Maybe investigate why you're carrying it. Yeah,
This links to relationships too, doesn't it? The source mentions Ulysses and Circe.
it does. Remember Circe, the enchantress who turned men into pigs? When Ulysses lands on her island, he's given a magic twig by the gods. Why did it work? Because Ulysses was in charge of his own mind. He was authentically himself, free from those tyrannical ideas of false duty or being someone he wasn't. So Circe's magic couldn't touch him, couldn't be degraded because he was whole.
So being true to yourself is like a protective shield.
In a very real way, yes. Which leads to this vital summary point. Your freedom from tiring responsibility always equals your ability to serve your healthy self-interest. And then it adds, brilliantly. So it is to your self-interest to serve your self-interest.
Huh. Love that. Okay, let's dive into relationships specifically. Many people want smoother connections, especially, as the source puts it, with the opposite sex.
My common desire, for sure.
It tells Nancy's story. She asked if this mental magic could help her relationship, and her big realization was...
Her realization was profound. She said, an uplifted mind uplifts everything. That means that my life with that man will get nicer and nicer. It starts within her.
So improving the relationship starts with improving yourself.
That's the core idea around love and self-growth. So many couples feel burdened, right? But Dr. Fitzkunkel, mentioned in the source, had this insight. Your only real duty in a relationship or in life is to grow mature, to find your true self.
Okay.
And couples can actually use their inevitable conflicts not as battlegrounds, but as a source of mutual enrichment. Like that long-leaf pine tree that actually needs fire to burn away the undergrowth so it can thrive. The challenges help you grow, together and individually.
Using conflict for growth, that's a different perspective.
Isn't it? As the poet Ovid said, to be loved, be lovable. Be your authentic, growing self.
And the force kind of pushes back against the idea that the opposite sex is this big mystery, right?
It does. It suggests, maybe controversially for some, that women actually go all out for a man who has sense enough to see through her.
See through her. Meaning?
Meaning see through the pretenses, the act. Because, the source argues, it relieves her of so much painful pretense. She doesn't want to be a mystery. She wants to be seen and loved for who she really is.
Interesting. So authenticity is attractive.
Hugely. And the simplicity of it all is often missed. There's this story about fortune hunters. They're on a ship, sailing along, talking endlessly, planning exactly how they'll find the treasure, what they'll do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so busy talking and planning and analyzing that they sail right past Treasure Island without even noticing it.
Oh, no.
It's a metaphor for how we overcomplicate relationships, right? We're so busy analyzing and strategizing that we miss the simple connection, the real person right in front of us.
We miss the treasure island because we're too busy drawing maps.
Exactly. So what's the most important thing for good relations, according to the source?
Let me guess. Simplicity.
You got it. Simplicity.
Yeah.
Specifically, for a man interacting with a woman, the advice is incredibly direct. Enjoy her.
Yes, enjoy her.
Yeah. The source says a woman doesn't want to be changed, analyzed, advised, judged, contradicted, sermonized, educated, pressured, or anything else. She wants you to enjoy her as she is. And guess what? That makes her enjoy you back.
Huh. Radical simplicity.
It really is. And this leads to the idea of the advanced mental magician in relationships. Someone who's really found themselves, they reach a state where nothing can harm them in that interpersonal sense.
How does that work? People get hurt all the time.
Well, the source explains that hurt feelings come from reacting on a lesser level of understanding. It's that lesser I, that false self that identifies with the hurt, takes offense.
Okay.
But as you dissolve that lesser I through understanding, a new one takes its place, your real self. And this real self, it cannot be hurt or offended or insulted in any way. Yeah. It's just steady.
Wow. So true love isn't needing someone else, but...
It's a personally experienced state of inner freedom and peace. You connect from wholeness, not from neediness.
Okay, let's get really ambitious now. The source makes this bold claim. You don't have to take life as it comes. You can make it come the way you like.
Big statement.
Huge. It tells this funny story about a rich bachelor who goes to a gypsy fortune teller. He wants help finding his perfect woman, a blonde, naturally. The gypsy gives him some vague instructions. He tries, fails, complains it didn't work. But eventually, through his own persistent searching based on his own desire, he finds her. He made his own prophecy come true.
Right. The power wasn't in the gypsy's words. It was in his own sustained intention and action, which leads to the core principle. Your future is always and only an outcome of what you are.
Meaning?
Meaning, to change your future, change yourself. Now, today. It's an inside job.
It mentions uncovering those ancient oracle tablets in Greece.
Yeah, by Konstantin Karapanos. And the questions on them weren't mystical mumbo-jumbo. They were surprisingly practical questions about life. It suggests humans have always tried to understand and shape their future through self-observation.
Looking inward to influence outward.
Exactly. Like Cyrus the Great. He was banished, right? But he had the mentality of a monarch. That inner state, that self-concept, eventually allowed him to overcome his circumstances and claim the throne that was rightfully his. Mentality first, reality follows.
It comes back to that expand your vision analogy too, the 15-story building.
Right. From the third floor, your view is limited. You can't see very far. But from the top floor, wow, you see the whole landscape much farther out. You can predict more.
And that's what happened with Virginia in The Source.
Yep. She kept getting promotions, rising higher, not through office politics, but just by being right with herself.
Yeah.
As her interview expanded, her outer world, her career, transformed to match it.
So how does this actually work? What's the mechanism?
It's the fundamental principle of cause and effect operating constantly. The source is blunt. We create our circumstances.
We create them, not just react to them.
We create them through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our state of being. And the moment you truly accept responsibility for your circumstances, not blame, but responsibility, you gain immense power. The power to cause the conditions you actually want.
That's where the leverage is.
Totally. It's like the shepherd boy who found that pool fed by an hidden underground stream. It was a constant and limitless source of supply. Your mental powers are like that underground stream, limitless, always available once you tap into them.
So how do you make your desired future, your predictions, come true then?
The key is single-minded purpose, focus. The source uses Sir Walter Scott, the author of Ivanhoe.
Ah, the night guy.
The night guy. He became famous because he absolutely immersed himself in the single subject of knighthood. Read about it, thought about it, dreamed about it. Eventually, that single-minded focus just erupted into writing his own incredibly successful adventure tales.
Total immersion.
Yeah. And another big idea is how to destroy barriers. This involves concentrating powerfully and, importantly, joyfully on what you desire.
Joyfully?
Yes. And then, critically, you have to progressively detach itself from its own contradictions.
What does that mean, contradictions?
Okay, say you want great social success, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you secretly demand that everyone else should behave exactly as you think they ought to behave. That's a contradiction.
Ah, wanting connection but imposing conditions.
Exactly. Once you let go of trying to control others, permit them to be themselves, you remove that inner conflict, that barrier. You become instantly more relaxed and attractive. The source says, clear thinking is not a matter of finding something, but of losing something. You must lose your illusions.
Lose the illusions, lose the barriers, like Shirley J discovered.
Right. Her big insight was, you get along with others to the same degree that you get along with yourself. It starts inside.
And what about the inevitable obstacles that pop up? Don't we fight them?
No. The source suggests using obstacles for benefits, turning them into advantages.
Oh.
Think of the teacher who challenged her class to find a completely useless natural object. They couldn't. Everything is curd. A dead leaf, a stone had some potential use or beauty. Or think about noticing painfully tense muscles. That awareness itself is the first step to letting go, turning the obstacle tension into a benefit, relaxation.
Seeing the value, even in the obstacle.
Exactly. And then there's how to energize your desire. You already have all the energy, all the power you need. It's like a river.
Yeah.
If you block off all the little side channels that are draining its energy away, all the river's power flows straight ahead, delivering the logs downstream powerfully.
So what are the side channels we need to block?
Negative attitudes. Things like worry over being misunderstood, regretting the past, getting angry at life, blaming others. These drain your power. You need to recover that power by consciously abandoning them.
Stop the leaks.
Stop the leaks. The source calls it the great mistake. We battle against life, against circumstances, instead of attacking his own false beliefs about life. That's where the real fight is and the real victory.
Okay, let's talk about happiness itself. The source uses this party game analogy, the whispering game.
Yeah, telephone or Chinese whispers, where a sentence starts out clear but gets completely garbled by the time it reaches the end of the line.
Right.
The source says, our lives can get confused like that because the original truth that makes for happiness gets distorted along the way. by misunderstandings, fears, false beliefs.
We end up with a garbled version of how to be happy.
Exactly. Which leads to this really profound statement. The greatest day of your life will be when you really see your mind as the cause of your own troubles.
That sounds depressing initially, seeing your mind as the cause of trouble.
Initially, maybe. But think about the flip side. Because for the first time, you will also really see your mind with the ability to create your own happiness. If your mind caused the trouble, it can also cause the joy.
Ah, the power is in the same place.
Precisely. And here's the kicker. Happiness appears when the mind ceases to fight for it. Stop chasing it. Stop struggling for it.
How does that work?
It uses this funny image of a cowboy whose horse keeps stopping
Why?
because the horse is so afraid he won't hear my next command. It's constantly waiting, tense, anticipating.
Okay.
People do that. We hinder our own happiness, our own natural flow, because we're so tense about what others think or afraid of criticism. We're constantly seeking external validation instead of just being.
We're like that nervous horse.
Yeah. And this ties into projection, too, how we mistakenly see things as we are rather than as they are.
Our internal state colors our perception.
Totally. A hostile person is convinced the world is hostile. An anxious person sees threats everywhere. The source tells that chilling story from World War I about the German U-boat, the UC-44.
What happened?
British naval intelligence tricked them, feeding them false info that a certain area of mines had been cleared. The U-boat commander believed it, acted on that false information, and sailed right into his own Rhine field, sank himself.
Wow. Acting on false internal data. Lethal.
Absolutely. Which brings us back to happiness. Walter, in the source, learned to overcome his anger. Why? He saw clearly that getting angry would prevent the very thing I wanted most of all, that is, to solve the problem at hand.
Anger was counterproductive to his goal.
Right, so he chose a different response: calm discussion, problem solved. It reinforces that true happiness is effortless. It's already there, it just needs uncovering through understanding.
Uncovering again, like confidence. Okay, something else the source says we possess that holds immense wealth.
Right.
Our personality.
Yes, your unique personality, and it says something really interesting. Once you catch a magnificent glimpse of your richer self, there is nothing else you need to do. Your awareness of its existence is the richness itself.
Just knowing it's there is enough.
Knowing it, seeing it, being aware of that authentic, richer self is the starting point for everything else. That awareness begins the transformation.
So how do we leverage that personality for, say, success or popularity?
The source gives a great secret for winning success in any field. Ready?
Lay it on me.
Find the topmost truth about that field, then give it your wholehearted interest and action. Find the core principle and dive in.
Okay, makes sense. What about for personal popularity?
For popularity, the topmost truth is incredibly simple, yet profound. You attain greater popularity with others as you become more popular with yourself.
Like attracts like.
Essentially, yes. It's described as an absolute and unbreakable law governing friendships. How you feel about yourself radiates outwards and determines how others respond to you. It echoes William James, the psychologist. The greatest revolution is the discovery that human beings, by changing the inner attitudes of their minds, can change the outer aspects of their lives.
Inner attitude changes outer aspect, like Helen's story. She wasn't popular with herself first.
Right. Helen felt insecure, so she put on these little dramatic performances, trying really hard to act attractive to convince herself and others.
Faking it till you make it.
But it didn't work. She eventually learned that pretense is the very barrier to fulfillment. Trying to be someone you're not pushes away the very thing you want. Because, the source states, the most popular personality trait of all is to be a real person. Authenticity attracts.
People sense genuineness.
You really do. Think of Cincinnatus, the ancient Roman legend. He was just living peacefully on his farm, being himself, a strong, capable individual. And when Rome was in crisis, who did they seek out to save them? Him. They went to him because his genuine strength was obvious. The source notes, a genuinely strong individual is always in far less supply than demand.
Be real, and the world might just beat a path to your door.
Something like that. And this ties into maturity. The Force defines maturity not as being stuffy or moralistic, but as mental money. It's finding your real self and are happy with its riches. That's true maturity.
Mental money, I like that. Okay, let's tackle another big one. Lasting security. We all want it, right? But it often gets tangled up with anxiety, especially about pleasing other people.
Yeah, that constant worry about approval definitely undermines security.
So what's the source's take?
It's very direct. Security is a state of mind. Full stop.
Not about your bank balance or your job title.
Those can contribute, sure, but true. Lasting security comes from discovering your mental riches, that inner wealth we keep talking about. And it pushes back against the idea that self-study or introspection is somehow navel-gazing or unhealthy. Because its real purpose is to discover ways to mental freedom. Freedom from fear, anxiety, insecurity. That's where real security lies.
It tells that story about the Dutch trading ship.
Right. They sail into what looks like dangerous pirate waters. The crew is panicking. But the calm captain insists, let's take a closer look.
Gutsy move.
Yeah, and what they thought were pirates turned out to be a friendly group that escorted the Dutch ship safely to harbor. The perceived threat dissolved upon closer, calmer inspection. Don't run from fear, examine it.
That reminds me of Thoreau's comment to Emerson. What was it?
Ah, yes, profound. Thoreau said, as long as a man stands in his own way, everything seems to be in his way. Our internal blocks create the external ones.
So true. And Lewis and Clark reaching the Pacific, that was their magnificent glimpse after all that hardship.
Exactly. Seeing the ocean was the reward of all our anxieties. Their persistence, their inner drive, led them to that undeniable truth, that ultimate security of reaching their goal.
There's another great adventure story here, Edward Thompson and the Sacred Well of the Mayans.
Oh, fantastic story. Thompson believes this ancient well holds treasure, but when he starts dredging it, all he gets is mud, leaves, common rocks. Discouraging. Right?
Most people would give up.
But Thompson persisted. He knew the riches were there. And eventually, his persistence paid off with a steady stream of wealth, amazing artifacts, jade, gold ornaments.
Because he kept digging despite the mud.
Yes, and the source connects this directly to your mind. Your mind is your sacred well. The riches might be hidden under some mud right now, undiscovered as yet, but the persistent adventurer always finds wealth. You have to keep exploring inward.
And it emphasizes that waiting for time to change things is pointless.
Totally. Time changes nothing. It's the changes we make in ourselves today that make the difference. Now is the only time we have power.
It brings back that building analogy, the higher view.
Yeah, the man on the top floor sees farther, understands more. He has more security because he sees the bigger picture. As the source says, the only lasting security is in the truth itself, seen from that higher perspective.
How do we get that higher perspective, especially when we feel stuck or doubtful?
Crucially, the source emphasizes action. You have to act against the false viewpoint, even if you're doubting and trembling. Take the step based on the truth you glimpse, even if fear is present.
Act despite the fear.
Yes. And trust your intuition. It quotes Aristotle. Wise men have an inward sense of what is beautiful, and the highest wisdom is to trust this intuition and be guided by it. You have that inner knowing.
Like an inner compass.
Exactly. The source uses that analogy. Your mind has a built-in compass for correction, always pointing towards truth, toward north. But negative thoughts, fears, false beliefs are like random pieces of metal near the compass, distorting its reading. The goal is to remove the distortions so you can trust the needle again.
Clear away the interference. Okay, so let's dive into solving problems and releasing tension using this mental magic. How do we approach problems differently?
Well, first, recognize they might not be what they seem. Like the funny story of the comedians in the haunted castle.
Oh, yeah, the drum.
Right. One comedian is terrified, keeps hearing this spooky big bass drum sound from the dungeon, convinced it's ghosts. His partner finally drags him down there and shows him. There's just an actual big bass drum sitting there. Maybe something brushed against it. It was all in your imagination, fueled by fear and misunderstanding. Many problems are like that.
We spook ourselves.
We totally do. And the source makes a powerful assertion. Quote, a man can abruptly cease from his problem-causing actions anytime he really chooses to do so. Once you see clearly how you are creating the problem, you can just stop.
Is it really that simple? Just stop.
The decision can be abrupt once the insight hits. Like Robert Peary near the North Pole. He thought he was making great progress trekking north.
Yeah.
But he was actually on a massive ice floe that was drifting south faster than he was walking north. He was going backward without realizing it. He had to check the accuracy of his assumptions to actually make progress.
Check if you're walking north on a southbound ice floe.
No.
Metaphorical.
Exactly. And the supreme test the source offers is simple. Are you actually growing a bit happier and a share more problem-free each day? That's your real progress report.
That's a good metric. I like that poem too. April Rain.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
It isn't raining rain to me. It's raining daffodils. It perfectly captures how your world is largely what our minds make it. Your perception transforms the experience.
So see problems not as threats, but as conditions.
Conditions that can potentially be turned into advantages. Don't fight them, understand them, change your perspective.
Like in that naval battle story, Jutland.
Yeah, the British cleverly tricked the Germans into revealing their own positions through coded messages.
Huh.
The point being, never acknowledge any difficulty as having power over you. Don't give it that mental energy.
Don't feed the problem with fuel.
Right. Think of Florence E., who was consumed by guilt and self-blame over a past relationship. The insight she received was, your real problem is your self-dislike, and not that past affair. The affair was just the hook her self-dislike hung itself on. The solution: cut self-dislike from your mind, ruthlessly and utterly. Deal with the root cause.
Ruthlessly cut the self-dislike. Wow, and that connects to the Carpenter story? The peanut butter sandwiches.
Yes, classic. This carpenter complains every single day about having peanut butter sandwiches for lunch. Hates them. Finally, a coworker asks, why did you ask your wife to make something different?
And the punchline.
The carpenter says, what wife? I make my own lunches. He was complaining about a situation entirely of his own making. The principle: never mentally resist a problem. Don't complain, don't blame, don't feel guilty. That just energizes the problem. Look at your own role in creating or maintaining it.
Stop making the sandwiches you don't like.
Pretty much. Be a detective, the source suggests, like Benjamin Franklin, always asking why. Penetrate the surface. Get to the root of things, especially your own thinking.
Challenge your assumptions.
And challenge your powers. Dr. David Seabury talks about this center of courage and quiet strength that's latent in everyone. Tap into it and find joy in the process. So Thomas Lipton, the tea guy, his motto was, work is my fun. Find the enjoyment in overcoming challenges.
That shifts everything. And have a sense of alternatives, right? Like the farmer and the highway.
Oh yeah, great illustration. This farmer drove for 2 years on this bumpy, slow dirt road to get to the city. Complained about it constantly. Then one day, he discovers there's been a brand new high-speed highway running parallel to his dirt road the entire time. He just never looked for it.
Oh, man.
It's a reminder there's almost always a better way, a simpler way, a faster way, a happier way, a pleasanter way. We just have to look beyond our habitual ruts.
Keep looking for the highway.
And keep in pursuit of solutions. The source says solutions exist before you have need of them, like a piano. The right note is already there on the keyboard before the pianist even thinks of playing it. He just has to strike it. The answers are available.
We just need to find the right key. Okay, releasing tension. That's huge for many people. George L's story.
Right. George L., successful guy, but gets incredibly anxious when an expected important phone call doesn't come through. He's pacing, stressed out, thinks it's all about the money he might lose.
Understandable reaction.
But then he looks deeper. He asks himself, what's really bothering me? And he realizes it's not the money. It's his wounded self-esteem, his pride, his fear of failure being exposed.
Oh, the ego got hit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that insight instantly calms him down. He sees the real source, and the tension dissolves because it's not about the external event anymore.
So tension comes from unrealistic thinking.
Unrealistic tools of thought, as the source puts it. False beliefs, wounded pride, fear of judgment. Remember the mining company hiding gold as black cannonballs?
Yeah, to fool bandits.
The bandits couldn't get the gold because they lacked knowledge. They saw worthless cannonballs, not hidden treasure. Our attention often comes from a similar lack of knowledge about our own rich inner nature, getting fooled by surface appearances.
So we need to see through the cannonball disguise.
Yes. And turn off the switch on things like self-pity, blaming others. Recognize that those are self-damaging behaviors. The moment you truly see them as harmful to yourself, you can just stop. Turn off the switch.
And mental detachment helps too. The Uncle Eddie story.
Mr. Miller constantly blames his wife's Uncle Eddie for all their problems, goes on and on about him. Then one day his wife gently points out, "Dear, Uncle Eddie is your uncle, not mine."
Oops.
Right. His distress wasn't caused by the uncle himself, but by his own thoughts and feelings about the uncle. The source says, imagine someone unkind is 1,000 miles away. Can they hurt you from there? No. So the distress isn't in the person, it's in your mind. Your mental connection is what hurts. Detach from the reaction.
Distance yourself mentally.
Exactly. Which leads to the final beautiful image, how to fly away. The story of the swan.
Tell us about the swan.
There's this swan living in a small, muddy, confining pond, maybe feels trapped, limited. Then one day it has this sudden realization, wait a minute, I'm a swan, and swans can fly?
The magnificent glimpse again.
Yes. It realizes its true nature and its inherent freedom. And the source emphasizes 3 vital truths about your mind related to this. 1, your mind cannot see anything above its present level.
Okay.
2, but it can daringly go beyond its present level. You can choose to reach higher,
Choose to fly.
choose to fly. And 3, and then it will see and understand that new level. Understanding follows the daring leap. Like tying your fingers tightly with a string, it restricts blood flow, feels tense. Release the string. Instant freedom restores circulation. Understanding releases mental tension the same way.
Choose freedom. Choose to fly. Okay, let's bring it home. Attracting prosperity and really embracing this new way of life. The source starts with Edward Doheny.
Incredible story. Doheny, a prospector down on his luck in Los Angeles, sees a wagon dripping tar.
Just tar.
Just car.
Yeah.
But in that moment, he has this flash of insight, this connection. If there was tar, there was oil. If there was oil, there was wealth. If there was wealth, there was opportunity. Boom. Mental magic. Led him to become a millionaire oil tycoon.
From seeing leaky tar. Amazing.
And the source argues that the biggest factor determining your financial level isn't luck or circumstance, but your mental personality. Things like your judgment, alertness, daring, how you think.
Your inner state attracts outer wealth.
And crucial to this is the principle of mutuality. This isn't just about fair trade, it's deeper. It's about the blending of your commercial values with the values of other people.
Blending values.
Yeah, seeing that true financial success, the really satisfying kind, happens when what you offer genuinely serves and aligns with what others value, creating shared benefit, win-win. Like the Boulevard merchant who boosted his business 15% just by consciously finding more ways to create that mutuality, that shared value with his customers.
It's about service, not just selling.
Exactly. And don't overlook curiosity. The source calls it an overlooked mental power. Channel it into money-making activities, like the Kansas City manufacturer who is always curious. What's the weakest link in my operation right now? He constantly identified it, strengthened it, and his efficiency soared. Curiosity drove improvement and profit.
Always asking why, or how can this be better?
Right, and find the secret code. Like cracking the German spy ring's code revealed their secrets. Finding the right mental code book unlocks financial understanding. Financial secrets, it says, are not really secrets at all. Not to the man who finds the right code book.
So what are some actions from that code book?
2 key ones. First, dig more gold from a certain phase of your business. Basically, optimize what you're already doing well. Double down on your strengths.
Okay.
Second, whenever you are blocked at a certain level, free yourself by reaching for a higher one. Don't just bang your head against the wall. Elevate your thinking. Find a new approach. Like the story of the brown bear, stretching higher and higher to reach the tastiest leaves. Reach beyond your current grasp.
Go higher when blocked. Makes sense. And frame it all as...
Your great adventure. Find the excitement, the exploration in it, like the guy who built mosaic tables. His adventure wasn't just gluing wood, it was sourcing unique woods from all over the world.
Find the fun.
Find the fun. Like the artist Rosie Bonheur, famous for her animal paintings, her work involved enjoyable trips to zoos and farms, even keeping her own private zoo. Her passion fueled her success. Fun and profit aren't mutually exclusive.
They can feed each other.
Absolutely. And remember the salesman story. He was totally discouraged, failing.
Yeah.
Then he hears a lecture, has an insight, and starts acting as if he already had what he wanted.
Fake it till you make it again.
Not quite faking. It's about adopting the inner state, the attitudes, the confidence of the person who already has the success. And what happened? His whole demeanor changed, he acted differently, and suddenly he gets 3 job offers. The mental magic works because it changes your attitudes, which cause you to act in a way that delivers desired results. Inner state creates outer action, creates result.
Act as if. Powerful.
Yeah.
And keep your purpose clear, right? Like the bakery guys.
Yeah. The executives are in a meeting, discussion wandering everywhere. The manager keeps bringing them back. Gentlemen, our purpose is to sell more cake. Simple, clear focus.
Sell more cake. Got it. So ultimately, this self-change, it really transforms everything.
Dramatically transform your daily world, the source promises. It's like rereading a book you loved years ago. The words are the same, but the book seems entirely different. Why? Because you've changed. Your perception has changed.
Your inner world shapes your outer experience.
Completely. Even something like loneliness. The source suggests it's often caused by your separation from your real self, not just lack of external company. Connect with your true self, and loneliness fades.
And focusing on today helps.
Yes. Focus on today's self-development. That frees you from being dragged down by past mistakes and true command over conditions. It's not about force or aggression. It's a clear understanding. When you understand, you command without commanding at all. Things just align.
Effortless alignment again. The source gives that great list of stops and starts too.
Powerful list for truly living. Things like stop waiting for action. Start making things happen. Stop fighting problems. Start understanding yourself. Stop feeling helpless. Start using your powers. It's about shifting from passive victim to active creator.
Taking charge from the inside out.
Exactly. And the beautiful conclusion is you have no responsibility for making them go. The good things, the solutions, the prosperity, they go all by themselves. Your job. All you need to do is place yourself in the way of their rich benefits. Be receptive.
Nice to man tied with the rope.
Yes.
Yes.
He thinks he's tied to a post, struggles against it, then realizes the rope isn't actually attached to anything. He was already free. You are already free. You just need to realize it. The good things of life want you as much as you want them, the Source reassures us. With a receptive mind, let them come to you. And remember, your mind is fundamentally your loyal ally. Even when the truth seems to hurt, when you feel upset by an insight, that's actually the wonderful path to freedom. Lean into it.
Incredible. So there we have it, a really deep dive into this amazing practical power that's right there inside your own mind. And these aren't just, nice ideas or theories.
Not at all.
Our sources really hammer this home. This
Yeah.
is living truth that any man in any condition can actually experience for himself. It's real.
It absolutely is. So the question for you, listening right now, might be, what single false assumption, what limiting belief you've been carrying around, can you choose to just abandon today? Knowing that just letting go of that one thing could effortlessly clear the path for that magnificent glimpse of the future you truly desire. What could you let go of right now?
That's a powerful question to sit with. We really hope this deep dive has sparked something exciting, maybe that first glimpse within you. The truth, as the source says, has already begun its fine work within you.
It truly has.
And as your mind becomes enlightened, so does your world. Then everything you do comes out well.